Okay, so this part is specifically for YouTube. So, hi YouTube. Haven't talked to you directly in a while. I'm going to be taking a break. This is something that I wanted to talk about the last couple of days. Was not 100% sure whether it's going to happen or not, but it is going to happen next Monday. So in 3 days, I'm going to be heading to Poland to visit the great-grandmother of my son Lionel. She's very excited, and we were not very sure when to do this. Now that Street Fighter is really, there's nothing really interesting in Street Fighter 5 going on right now, so we decided spontaneously to take that trip right now before the CPT online starts, and I'm assuming there's going to be content in SF5 somewhat soon, so I decided this is the right moment to take that break. I'm not burned out or anything like that. I'm actually quite used to working all the time, and it will probably even be a struggle for me to be away for quite a while. The next stream is going to happen on July 16th. So yeah, I'll be away for 1.5 weeks, something like that. I'm trying to keep some content for YouTube up though. I've already worked a little bit ahead, so I can at least give you a couple of uploads while I'm away. This is not like I'm not going to be able to keep up the daily schedule, obviously. That will be too much work. But I'm trying to give you a couple of uploads at the very least. So yeah, don't expect too much from me next week. I'm not going to be at home. And this is probably a good way for me to take a break, a forced break, because I'm kind of terrible at taking breaks. I've talked about this a little bit last time on stream as well. About the story when my wife decided to do something good for me, and we went to Egypt. We had a great time at Egypt. It was supposed to be a vacation trip, but I really noticed when we were at the beach and I was just supposed to lie there, do nothing, it was very hard on me. I was actually kind of stressed out about that part in particular. We did a ton of stuff in Egypt, but one thing that I really learned in Egypt is that I just can't sit there on a beach, do nothing. It's actually really stressful for me to do that. So, yeah, that's something I kind of learned through that trip. So, yeah, I'm going to be taking a break. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up about that. I'm going to be back on July 16th with the next stream. Maybe if you're really lucky, I'm actually going to give you a Wednesday stream on July 15th, but don't count on it. It will probably not happen, but yeah, definitely July 16th, and that's when the daily uploads for YouTube will continue as well. So yeah, that's part one that I want to talk about. Part two, EVO being cancelled. There are a few things that I want to talk about, obviously, today, because there is a ton going on at the moment. I want to address EVO really quickly. I don't have that much to say on that, to be honest. The allegations, or really, it's not really allegations anymore. It's really kind of disturbing when you take a look at Mr. Wizard's history. I don't really know what to say about that. Normally, I'm like the kind of guy that says, oh, cancel culture is so toxic, which it is, by the way. But this one seems appropriate. I don't think that this person should be the CEO of EVO. I don't think anyone is going to have any confidence in that person being in such a high position at such an important event for the FGC. So yeah, that one I'm actually fully behind, it seems like. So normally the reason why I call out cancel culture is because allegations alone cause people to actually lose their jobs and their life, essentially, because their reputations are ruined forever just from allegations, and it doesn't seem to matter whether these allegations are true or not. For Mr. Wizard, they seem to be true, and he even recognized that, so yeah, a bit disturbing, to be honest. Can he be taken from his position? He already is taken. Yeah, that's done. Event Hubs will make an article about it, Jimmy going to Poland. I really hope they don't. Anyways, that's really all. Oh, no, obviously I want to, so that's the reason why EVO was cancelled, right? Now the question is, and this is something that will probably, maybe is a bit controversial what I'm about to say, but I don't think any companies or a lot of people that backed out of EVO backed out of it because they think it's the right thing to do, or because they think there's something inherently wrong with EVO. I think there had to be taken actions against Mr. Wizard, and they were taken, right? So the response was appropriate. So technically there was no reason for big companies or people to back out of the event entirely. It doesn't really make any sense to punish the entire community for a bad player within the community. The bad player should be punished and not the community. That's what I think. And in that regard, it seems kind of weird that the community is being punished by EVO getting entirely canceled, right? And I honestly don't buy it. I think people backed out of EVO because it was technically already canceled by COVID-19. I just don't buy the fact that Capcom would give up such an important event like EVO if it wasn't for the fact that there wasn't going to be the regular EVO Street Fighter V tournament happening. Nah, I don't think they want to... Initial R, I don't think they backed out because they don't want to associate their brand with a pedo. They would have just said something along those lines of, like, EVO already took the steps necessary. Mr. Wizard was taken down, right? So, and Capcom could have made a statement, in no way does Mr. Wizard's action represent our core values. That's what Capcom could have said. And it would be fine. It would have been fine. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to blame Capcom for wanting to do an EVO tournament for Street Fighter. It just doesn't seem to be fair to punish the entire community for one man's mistakes. And as I said, and because of it, because EVO was already really down, because, well, it was online only, so it was kind of a joke anyways, I think people felt more confident in just backing out of it entirely. They just didn't have as much to lose. I highly doubt this would have happened if EVO was still going properly, like any other year. I think no one would have backed out. It would have been too big of an opportunity. It would have been too important for the FGC. It doesn't actually make sense to punish the FGC, as I said. We need to punish bad players, but canceling tournaments because one of the guys who's running the tournaments has some really weird shit going on. No, we should be... I think it's reasonable to do that if Mr. Wizard didn't get punished. I think then we can talk about just boycotting, right? Because when do you want to boycott something? It's when you're against something. When you're against a policy, and normally it's going against like an established company, like a really big company, and pressuring them to do the right thing, right? That's usually when you want to do that, but it wasn't necessary. The right thing has been done. He was removed from EVO staff, and like really there's nothing more that EVO can do about that. So I don't think it makes any sense to back out of the tournament itself. The only reason why people did that was because the tournament itself is already crippled, so people, well, didn't really care about it. And, well, at the same time, if you're not going to have a super hype tournament, you might as well cancel the entire thing. So, yeah, that's what I think about it. In the grand scheme of things, EVO is a single tournament, and Mr. Wizard profited personally from its success. EVO needs a rebranding because EVO and Mr. Wizard are synonymous. I'm not so sure if that's really the case. If you have a bad player, removing the bad player is the right thing to do, right? I don't think EVO needs to be rebranded. But, and as I said, I honestly don't believe for a second that this would have, people would not have canceled EVO for that if it was a regular EVO year. But yeah, that's just my speculation. I could be wrong about that, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, EVO was not going to be the same this year anyways. And in all honesty, like I suggested before, that canceling EVO might even be better because it's simply not going to be EVO the way they want to do it online. It's just not going to be the same. which is why I was happy they kind of rebranded the whole thing. It was EVO Online, and there was a clear distinction between a regular EVO year, which is why I thought it was okay to do, but at the same time, you might as well cancel the thing if you're not going to be able to deliver the thing, right? So yeah, it doesn't really matter though. So that's what I have to say on EVO being cancelled. The third one is actually gonna be kind of difficult. It's kind of difficult for me because I want to talk about Reckful. Now, Reckful is a streamer that I haven't really watched a whole lot. I did watch him a few times and was always very chill on his stream. He's a pretty big player in the Twitch space, right? And yesterday I read the news that he passed away because he committed suicide. That was actually a bit of a shock, or at first I thought it was not going to be that big of a deal for me personally, but it really got to me. I don't really know why, because I didn't watch his content regularly, but somehow it really got to me. And maybe it's because he's a fellow Twitch streamer. Maybe it's because whenever I did come across his stream, he made reasonable, he said reasonable things. I liked some stuff that he did in the past. And overall, it seems like he was a good person, and I really enjoyed the content, I guess, that I did see from him. So yeah, that was a bit of a shock to me. So rest in peace. Absolutely. It was known for a while that he was suffering from depression. I did follow that a little bit, but not too much. So it's just a shame to see something like that happen, and it kind of got to me. So yeah, I guess this is a moment where you could say, if you're in a position, if you're also suffering from depression, like there's a ton of people who feel that way, and you're not alone. And there's a ton of help for people like that out there, and you should seek that help, because we only get this one. We should really cherish this life that we have, right? Because it might be the only one. So yeah, rest in peace, Reckful. So yeah, third topic, and this comes right after I heard the news about Reckful, and because of that, it was really shocking to me. This news from Dual Kevin. He posted a tweet about NuckleDu getting into a bad car crash, and saying, like, well, it was a bad car crash. This was really a shock to me, because NuckleDu was one of the first ones that I got in contact with from the pro scene as a streamer, by the way. In 2015, I met NuckleDu at EVO. We were already in contact because of the streams back then. He knew about me, I knew about him, obviously. And NuckleDu is a really nice guy, and he's also a father now. So he got a daughter, and when I heard that he got into a bad car crash, I was like, how is this possible? How's this even happening? So much bad news coming all at once. It's kind of incredible. I just couldn't believe that. Fortunately, Dual Kevin gave us an update that Du is receiving treatment. He's gonna make a recovery. Apparently, it's gonna take some time, but at least he's gonna make a full recovery. That's really important. So yeah, Du is fine now. Yeah, I'm not sure what his condition really is or how bad it really was, but it was really concerning. So yeah, I'm happy we got an update on that. That is that ends on a positive note, right? Because that one really shocked me. The last thing that I want to talk about, well, I don't really have anything left to talk about. That's technically all I wanted to talk about. There's a ton of allegations out there, by the way, and a ton of stuff happening in the Smash community in particular. A lot of people being canceled. Some of them rightfully so, others I'm not so sure about. It's something that I talked about briefly earlier, right, with the cancel culture. I think it's really important to ask for to ask for consequences when the allegations have been either proven to be true, well, or when they're false, for the consequence to be dropped. I like that, and I think there's a good reason why we have our legal systems work the way they work. Even though they fail sometimes, I think one of the biggest accomplishments is going from this mob, this crazy idea that like that the court of public opinion will decide your fate, and that we have a system in place that tries at the very least to not be biased, to not immediately jump to conclusions, to take a look at the facts. This is all of that is so important, and I feel like it's being thrown out the window in a lot of cases because we have so many powerful ways to share information and also misinformation. This is something that kind of bothers me a lot, and I wish when I read stuff on Twitter that people would take allegations as they are, as allegations, and then look deeper. But this is something you can't expect. If somebody calls you a sexual predator, well, then that's it for you, right? You're basically done. Even if it's wrong, you're done. In a lot of cases, I feel like stuff like that is being overblown. The Mike Z situation, I think, is a good example of that. Mike Z seems to be a person that is, like, I call it a toddler level of flirting. He doesn't seem to be very experienced talking to women, so he's really awkward. But getting canceled over being cringe, essentially, I don't think this should happen. And I think it's like this mentality of trying to tear people down as much as you can is just really toxic. Like, this is what I mean by cancel culture. This is because there's a subgroup of people with really any community that is more motivated, that is not motivated by empathy towards the victims. They're actually motivated towards, like, they are motivated by hatred. They're trying to tear people down. And if they can like bend reality, if they have to bend reality for that to work, they will bend it as much as possible to get their way to tear others down. And I don't like that. I've never liked people. There are a bunch of people in the FGC that I consider very toxic because of it. I don't want to name anyone, but a couple of really prominent figures in the FGC that I have no respect for as a result, because they're not interested in fair judgments. They're just interested in tearing anyone down that they could possibly tear down for any reason, to make themselves look good. And I don't like that at all. So yeah, that being said, there are a ton of people who obviously did very, very bad things, and that's obviously deserved to be called out. And I think a lot of people, like some people, have absolutely been canceled for the right reasons. So I guess that's a positive thing as well. I am concerned, however, by the broader aspects of the idea of cancel culture and going after everyone so viciously and with so much malice. It's unbelievable. You really have to reconsider what the motivation is when you see so much hate. It really makes you wonder: is that a good guy, right? Is that the person that we see as the good guy when you so viciously go against other people within the community, even for like minor issues? It really bothers me. But yeah, that's all I have to say for today. I guess for YouTube, this will be it for the video. For Twitch, we're gonna be taking a look at some more Street Fighter, or we're gonna start with some Street Fighter for the last day of my stream before I take a break. So yeah, YouTube, take care. I'll see you soon.